We watched a TV show or movie called
Tenet.
no, it wasn't Tenet. It was what was the name of the movie, sweetie? Sound of Metal. And so basically, it was about this guy who played drums in a small band, and all of a sudden, he just loses his hearing. So it was very relatable to my circumstances.
Oh, so you identified with it. Were you emotional about it?
No, I mean I really didn't identify it because I don't lose. I haven't lost my hearing.
Mm-hmm. Just lost interest in listening to people talk when they're talking to you.
So anyway, gosh, the hair, this is why we can't have lights. Look how you can see the thinning of my hair.
Well, it's a podcast with the two of us. Like, what do you want? What do you want it to show about us? You're the one who insisted on video. And
No,
what else are our viewers gonna see other than our hairlines and our waistlines?
They don't see our waistline. I keep it up. I keep it above the breast or below the breast, just below the breast.
Okay, our bra lines. Welcome to the Actually Podcast.
I'm Grant.
And I'm Ben.
This is the Actually Podcast. Oh, we do have a logo now.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We should
Yeah,
definitely talk about our logo.
Yeah, so the Lego
We
is
paid $50s of dollars.
$50s.
And by we, I mean you.
I haven't actually paid anything yet. They gave me all the stuff, so free.
We paid free $99
Free
for
99.
our logo.
You know, what's funny is that this podcast is actually very community oriented.
Yeah, that's true.
And so because we have obviously we're on it.
Obviously.
Jared helped with the sound
Mhm.
portion of it,
Mhm.
at least early days. Now
Mhm.
it's not. I got him come in and do it again, especially when I'm getting a new controller that will replace this.
What's wrong with that one?
Well, with this, with the video,
Uh-huh.
you can't control the sound, so it needs to be able to tweak some of that.
Oh,
So
I
there's
see.
nothing wrong with it. It's actually a great system, but my Christmas present to myself, well, for my parents technically,
Uh-huh.
is to upgrade this thing.
Okay.
It has its own little dials.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, and then Dennis did the logo,
Mhm.
and Bernie did the song.
Uh-huh.
No.
Turn up the heat.
He didn't really do the song for us. We just
Laugh
commandeered
and be
it.
crazy. Jump in the water.
okay. Anyway,
Eat and be lazy.
so I hear you got an iPhone 37.
Uh-huh. 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 Whatever the most recent one is. It can fly to space, I think, and
Yeah,
take
it's-
pictures of me from space. I think.
It's its own drone,
Uh-huh. It's a small drone,
small drone.
and I'm not sure what it does that's so different, but everybody else that has gotten one is like, oh my gosh, they text me and they're like, oh my gosh, this phone's so crazy, right? And I'm like, yeah, but really in my heart, I'm like, I have no idea. I have noticed the call quality is really good.
Yeah.
And then beyond that,
What I think. Go ahead.
just haven't noticed anything.
Yeah. One of these funny is when people talk about pictures, like people are like, man, that picture looks so much better. It's like TVs for me. Like I think we're at the point with most TVs.
Uh-huh.
I don't know when you get to 8K to 16K to 20. you know what I mean? Like,
Is it like a noticeable difference?
Yeah. Can we figure out? Can we figure out what's going on? Because like I'm like,
Well, I'm not sure that we need. I mean, especially in 2020, like high quality camera resolution for like pictures of my kids and my dog and my wife when, we're just riding around in a car going to pick up Chick-fil-A and come back to our house. It's like, not a lot of date nights, not a lot of like, vacation pictures in 2020. It's just
Yeah.
a lot of like, hey, this is my kids after playing in the yard again.
yeah.
And this is my dog again.
But we're also setting a level of expectation that of like our videography and stuff like that. It's like everything that we do.
Uh-huh.
Now it has to be a step. Just think about it like this: like when Facebook first came out, we didn't worry about professionalized looking pictures,
Sure.
and then filters started coming out. Now we don't worry about filters. We want our cameras to be able to tweak the camera when we take a picture to make the perfect picture.
Man, remember back in the day, Facebook? What a hardship, man. We had to like plug that cord into that camera. You had to try to put pictures on the internet, and then you had to like get them all organized and like find the first one you wanted and like caption each one, tag people in them.
I remember I used to have a phone you could take pictures on, which was at that time a huge deal. And but to get it off the phone, you had to like email it to yourself to like the strange email, and you had to grab it.
Like
Sprint PCS, I think, something like that, something crazy.
It was like 300 K too. Like it wasn't even like, you know, really nice cameras like we're dealing with now. It was like the grainiest, saddest looking thing.
Yeah, no, it's awful. He's eating the poinsettia.
Aren't they poisonous?
No, those are the red beads.
It was a joke. Wasn't that you? Oh no, that was Melody Young. The poinsettia joke. Did you see?
I said it. Which one?
The poinsettia joke.
The one I said. What are you talking about? Go ahead.
I thought
I'm the one that said. Someone said to me in poinsettia, I thought they were poisonous. I think it was Brittany.
Maybe.
And I said, no, that's not poinsettias. That's What's happening with her?
What is he doing? Why is this the best time for this?
Hey, stop.
Leave it. I'm gonna pet you.
So telephones have come like leaps and bounds. And so one thing that you were telling me about when you first got this iPhone, is it 11? No, it's
I don't want to brag.
12.
Yeah.
Okay, so iPhone 12 is a phone case, which for me,
yeah,
this is my phone case. Military standard ground, whatever.
Oh, while you have it up, you might as well respond to that text message.
Oh, it's Hannah asking for more time.
Of course it is. It is.
So that's the story of my life. Story of my life.
Take her home.
So, but for me, I don't really care about cases. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
I thought I was.
search.
Yeah, that's who I thought I was too. Yeah.
Still not. So when I get my new phone in 2027.
Well, I wouldn't speak too soon on that. I also thought I was very low maintenance in the phone case department until I got this new phone. And I don't know if it's something about getting older, but like, I was like, I'll just get a new phone. I've had this phone for 3.5 years. I was like, it's tired. I'm ready for something new, right? So I'm just like, I'll just get this phone. It's such a pain, man. You got to sign into apps all over again. You got to like do all this different stuff. And then, so I was like, I'm going to get these leather cases. That's the one I like. So I get the leather case. It's back ordered. Story of Apple's life. Thank you, Apple. And I put it on there and I hate it.
Yeah.
Like, it has the like look that I want, which is just like clean, simple, like nothing plasticky and clearish, but not like no flowers or anything, no glitter on the back. It's just like clean, simple, professional. That's why I like my phone look. So it has the right look, but it feels like really weird, like almost like an old couch.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't like this. So then I get another case.
An old couch.
Yeah. Like not an old couch as in like just like couches used to feel back in the day. You remember like the one that had the picture? Yeah, it was like orange and brown and white.
Yeah.
And it had that fabric, whatever that was.
Makes you like cringe when you touch it.
It had that feel to it. So I was like, hate it. So I was like, I'm going to get this other case. So it came and I don't like, and it has the right feel, but the wrong look. It looks like an OtterBox. And I'm like, I'm not taking this thing hunting. Like I'm not going for the OtterBox look. I'm not, Dad, I'm not clipping it onto my belt loop, or I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
Like I just need to.
Well, you are that guy.
I know, but I'm not that guy.
Yeah. You don't want to be that guy.
I don't have it. I don't wear cargo sweatpants or cargo shorts. I don't have any Nike Monarchs.
We're done.
I don't have, I don't have grass stains on my shoes. I don't even mow my grass. So like, I'm just not that dad. So I was like, I'm not ready for this. So finally, I'll show it to the fans, all of them. I finally found the case I like, and see, it's just that's it. That's all I want. Is just give me a simple look, and it has to actually just, you know, be
We can't do anything. We just can't do
leather,
it.
like, but that leather feel is what I want. But then just look like super, just normal, right?
Yeah. No, I don't
Well,
get
I've
it.
had this phone for like, what, 3 months, and I have like 8 cases for it sitting up on top of my dresser.
Just because you couldn't find that one case
Right,
that you wanted.
because this is the case that I want, apparently, and the rest of those cases, I'm like, no, no, no. When I got rid of my phone, I gave it to my sister because she needed it or whatever, and I was like, here are the 2 cases for it. I'm real simple in the case department. It's just got to be leather case, and so here's a brown one, and here's a blue one, and that's all I have.
That's the other thing. Like you customize or accessorize your phone, so you
Mhm.
have different cases for different occasions.
Well, I only had the 2, and I would just go back
That's-
and forth
okay,
between the 2 of
How
them.
many do I have?
Right. But that's the thing is, like, I would have said, like, oh, it's just normal. I just have 2 of the same thing because I just am simple, blah, blah, blah. And then I got this new phone. Turns out I'm not simple. Turns out I'm not,
You're
like,
posh.
I'm, like, very needy when it comes to a cell phone cases. Like,
You're very elite.
right. Like, I put one on and I was like, no, this isn't what I want. And so I
Now,
was
is that
like,
one an Apple? That's the Apple one, right?
no, this is not the Apple one. This is from a company
Ooh.
called Bullstrap. Apple was the first one.
Yeah.
And that had the weird feel that felt like the couches of old that I used to watch TV on my 13-inch TV in Brazil, Indiana. Yeah. And I was like, I don't like this. Feels weird. Feels like, I don't know what that material, velour. I don't know what I'm saying.
Velour.
I'm using a term. I don't know what it means, but
That's
like
Futurama.
that weird
Velour.
feeling. But it had the right, it looked right. It's nice and simple leather. No weirdness, but felt super strange. And then I got a case from a company called Nomad, and it looked like an OtterBox. And I was like, what am I doing with my life? Like, if I can't clip this onto my belt, there's no point in this. Or drop it in my fanny pack. So I was like, I don't want this. So I got rid of that.
This is interesting. Keep going. I'm listening.
I'm done. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Splitsville.
Let's go. No, I mean I just don't care about cases that much. Now,
Yeah,
listen,
I hear you saying that until you get a new phone, and then it's going to take you a second because that phone case, first of all, has yellowed, so it's time to move up and move on from that one.
It's not. You know why?
The yellowed clear
Because
plastic.
I don't go. Hey, look, this is my
That-
iPhone
No,
X.
that's the thing about those clear cases is they look exactly like that, and that's why I'm like I can't live
But,
my
you know
life
the
like this.
case. But I don't care. That's the difference between you and I,
Right.
right? So like I can have this phone. I can have this.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't bother me.
Right. It doesn't bother you. It bothers me.
So I'm supposed to get a new cell phone.
Yes.
Oh,
That's why I can't have the clear and the yellowed. When the clear plastic yellows, I can't handle it.
Elizabeth likes to find these like obscure 4 people out of 326 million people in the world, in America. Excuse me.
I work with 2 people with loopy cases. How do you feel about this, Ben?
I think it's stupid. I'm done.
Well, also, I have a question about your phone situation.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I work with a couple people that love their loopy case. What is on the back of yours? What is this?
I'll show you. It's something I got. Well,
Please, ex God.
no, it's please God,
Right.
but they take the comma out, and it's please God.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Please God.
But why is it backwards?
backwards?
Like, why don't you put the
God,
please God
please.
out so you can read it?
Because something that I want people to see, so I keep it in there.
Oh, it's just for you to know.
Yeah, it's just for me. It's a reminder of something I don't remember what I got it for, but
It's a reminder that you don't remember.
yeah. That's what happens as you get older. And that's the thing. That's one of the things funny about this whole conversation. You're talking to me like you're this old man that one day you're going to be in a situation where you're going to get all these, like,
No, I'm
Excuse me,
just
I
saying,
am like
I'm
7
just saying
years older
2
than
months
you.
2 months ago I would have said the same thing about my phone case, that I was like, oh, it's just simple, it's just these two cases, just, or it's just this one case, get two versions of it, it's fine, no big deal or whatever. And then now all of a sudden I've been through 7 of them when I just got this phone, and I'm like, no, hate that, hate it, hate it, hate it. All of a sudden I'm Greg over here who can't find anything that he likes. He's like, why they change Facebook when I scroll, I'm old. All of a sudden it just showed up one day, and it showed up in phone cases.
Well, I could have told you have an old soul anyway, so like you like your cars a certain way. They have to be pristine, clean.
That's true. I do like my cars to be clean.
I don't. Anyway, so
But that's the thing about my personal too, is I also like for your cars to be clean.
no, you have this demand for my car to be clean.
It's. I would definitely say it's not a healthy place to be in. Like to not be able to get into somebody else's car and just ride in somebody else's car. Like to get into somebody else's car and that car make you feel a certain way. There's probably something wrong.
I'm sorry that
I would say.
I'm sorry that my personal choice of how I
No,
view-
I'm saying like I probably have some sort of a disorder where getting into your car, I feel some type of way. That's probably not the way a healthy human should feel.
The truth is that you have a judgment of me when you walk into my car. That's what it is. And it supports either an idea that you have of people with messy cars, or it conflicts with it. And you have to come to terms with that. And instead of coming to terms with that, you just criticize their car.
No, the messy car, and that's because in high school my car was disgusting. I mean, I kept food in there like on purpose. Like I bought it to keep in the car so I could eat it while I was driving and stuff like
gross.
that. Yeah,
Ugh.
like I had like stuff everywhere. My dad got so mad at me, and I was like, Dad, what do you care? It's not even your car, even though it was. And I was like, what's it matter, Dad? Like, let it go. And then here's me. Probably. That's probably what it sounded like.
Dad, I don't understand why.
You're the worst dad ever. And then cut to me now. I'm like judging other people for having messy cars.
You mostly just judge me. That's the problem. Is that
Well, honestly, you're the only person in my life with a car that looks like that. I've cut all the rest of them out. She loves my laughter. It is funny. It is funny, Kennedy. And don't ever not ride in your car seat, because your dad will put a bunch of stuff where your car seat goes, and it'll be too messy to get your car seat in there, Kennedy.
you also, when you have a lot of stuff like that in your car,
Mm-hmm.
it's actually safer because then there's like a cushion.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say it's like a sign of genius, because like you can't be bothered to like be in the mundane like.
There are
cleaning thing.
articles. I don't buy a lot of that stuff. There are articles that say like a messy desk is a sign of some kind of
Genius or
intelligence and
something
stuff like
like
that.
that.
But we all know who I am, and my intelligence level is on the low ground. You were telling about people with big personalities like that. I'm pretty sure, like when you talk about other people about me, you're like, I'm only friends with him because come on, I feel like bad for him. My wife is 3 steps.
I've only said that to like 4 people. This is like high school all over again.
What was his name, Sam? Oh my gosh. So I didn't tell Elizabeth this. I only sent this picture. So I thought the funniest thing today for me was this. I walk into the water department, and it only gets stranger from that. For me. Like, I go to the water department because
Well, going to the water department in our town is funny enough.
yeah,
Like just having to do that.
apparently because you
funny.
get like 1,000 questions on why you go to the
Well, because it's a funny thing to have to go there. Nobody, you only have to go there once to set it up, and then
Yeah.
you never are supposed to go there again. So the fact that you had been there again is like, why
I've not
would
been
anybody
there
choose to do that?
once. That was the first time I've ever been there.
You just now are getting the water put in your name in this
Yeah.
house that you've lived in for.
No, we called it in, but then this is the first time I've ever gone in there to actually pay the bill.
Oh, okay.
We haven't paid the bill since March. I don't know what happened. Anyway, when we bought the house, it's beginning of COVID, so we didn't have to go in.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what happened. Anyway, when we bought the house, it's beginning of COVID, so we didn't have to go in.
Oh, okay.
So it was just a matter of just transferring information. So today, I have delayed. I don't keep checks.
Uh-huh.
We've talked about this before.
Right.
I don't keep checks.
Uh-huh.
I mean, who keeps checks?
Me.
Unless you're 75 years old, right?
I do.
Old soul. So everything else, in most places, you can pay with a debit card or cash.
Right.
I mean, it's
Not
pretty
at
simple
West
stuff.
Wilson Utility District.
No, they are, and for some reason you have to bring in a physical check. I mean,
Yes.
I haven't done that since in high school, and I had to do
Uh-huh.
that for
For
like
direct deposit.
direct deposit.
Uh-huh.
That's not even true because I didn't have direct deposit when I started working in high school. Still, I had paper checks. So anyway, I walk in,
Uh-huh.
and the first thing I see is this hand sanitizer. Again, there's nobody. I've driven by there 1,000 times. This is not like going to like downtown Nashville where you have to wait hours.
Right.
You walk in, you're gonna get a person
Immediately.
and you're gonna get done with what you got to get done with. So it's not like there's 1,000 people a minute there.
Uh-huh.
It's when I walked in, there was 2 people. They were already at the window. I waited less than a minute to go to the window, and they have hand sanitizer. It says 1 squirt only, please. 1 squirt of hand sanitizer.
Right.
Now, I mean, was that seriously a problem for them? Like people were just walking in, going,
I'm taking some of this home.
yeah, like filling up cups. Like, was that seriously something that
My
was
kids are in
happening?
the car. I'm going to
Yeah,
get some of them too.
So that was crazy in itself. And then I get, so I send it to my friends with you guys,
Uh-huh.
and I get a lot of laughs.
Uh-huh.
And so Jared asked, "Why were you at the
Yeah.
water department?" Which I didn't catch this at 1st.
Uh-huh.
When I responded, I didn't catch that he had already said he just hangs out. I know Kelly goes, "That's actually a really good question." I'm not sure why that's a great question.
Because she thinks everything that Jared does is great.
Okay, so that's a great question. Okay, of course you think it is, Kelly. He hangs out there sometimes. There's a great ambiance, which
There's really not.
it's a wonderful place. You get one full squirt, 4 squirt.
Yeah, so you had to make sure that plunger was up, go all the way down, make sure you go all the way down.
And so then my response was to review their hand sanitizer. And so
Which
I
was
never
very
even
funny.
told them why I went there, which
No.
was basically to pay a bill because it was due today.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, get frustrated because I'd rather all my utility stuff, like all electricity, all that stuff's, deposited, which I can go online, put my bank account information in, and take care of it.
Not with West
Not
Wilson
with
Utility.
West Wilson. They like to do things from
Old school.
1987.
Well,
so
you notice all the filing cabinets. They have filing cabinets for days in there because everything is still paper. And they still, like, when I have to fill up the pool or something like that, put a bunch of water, they'll physically call me. Like, one of those people that you talk to will call me and say, "Hey, we just want to let you know you're using more water than
yeah,
we're
they
used
did
to
that.
seeing."
They did it to me. Yeah.
But, like, it's not a robocall. It's not like they're not sending you a postcard. No, it's like a straight up, like, "Hey, one of y'all call Grant, let him know he's using more water than he was last month."
Yeah.
And they'll just, call me up. But my favorite part of that story was when we got our house out here, I was going through doing the same thing, setting it all up on, as I like to call it, the interwebs.
Yeah.
And I was doing that. And so I went to West Wilson Utility District's website and
It's like
and it was like
GeoCities.
there's a button. Yeah, it's on GeoCities, and there's a big button flashing in Lucida Casual italics that says "click here to start new service." And I was like, perfect. This site's really old, but they know what I need. So I click on it, and they're like, "Come into our office anytime between 9 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays."
It really is the worst.
And so I was like, why have a button if you're just going to tell me to come down there anyway? So I had to go down there, and, Nancy had to get me all set up. I just physically signed things with
Which
my
they
actual,
which they have a carbon copy
yes,
thing
yeah.
that they send.
she
They,
was like-
they don't even give it to you right away. They
Right,
send it
right.
to you
And
with
she had
your
to
bank
rip,
information.
She had to
on it.
rip the things off the side
Yeah.
of it. She was like, "Here's your copy. I'm going to put this in your file." I was like, Okay, thank you.
And so this is one of the biggest cities, growing towns in Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
and probably in a lot of the United States.
Uh-huh.
And we can't get the water
Nope.
things. I mean, how they survive?
I don't know.
West Wilson has its own water district, which probably doesn't serve all of Wilson County. So
No, that's why it's the West Wilson Utility District. So, just thought I'd mention that. Oh, although, so one time when I lived back in Davidson County, I forgot to pay a little thing called the electricity bill.
yeah,
And so they had cut it off and I had to call and get it cut back on or whatever. And then a few months later, I was cutting it close, same situation. Okay.
mm-hmm.
But I didn't have a lot of money. So I was like, I worked downtown. So I was like, I'm going to go by there on my way into work to pay the bill. Right. So I go to the NES building in downtown Nashville to pay
off of Church Street or something like that.
And it was a circus. It was no West Wilson Utility District. I mean, through glass this thick.
Yeah.
You know, they were like taking orders and people were making deals. The guy at the window next to me was like, okay, can I get my electricity turned on if I pay this much money? And the lady had like given him an amount, like you got to pay this to get it turned back on or whatever. And he was like, well, what do you feel about this much money? And she was like, not having it. She was like, no, that's not.
You had to be hardcore in
Right.
those places.
She was like, basically it's this or you don't have electricity. And I was like, I just need to pay my bill. It's due today and I don't want to get shut off again. So I was like, I was sliding bills under there. But it was a circus.
Humbling experience.
It was a circus in there. I don't know things were flying over my head. There was armed guards. There was actually police officers in there, more than one police officer in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, what normally goes on in here? Like, I know there's deal making and like people pleading and stuff like that, but like police officers? But anyway.
So anyway, this little town, Lawrenceburg, you have to go to the police department. So I call them. I didn't know you had to go to the police department.
Right.
So I call them and I say, hey, my husband forgot to pay our water bill. Can I just pay it over the phone with a debit card to get it turned back on? He's away. I don't have the bill handy or anything like that. And they were like, no, you have to come, if it's after hours, so you have to come down to the police department. And I was like, okay. So I go down to the police station with a little Malachi.
Oh.
He's like probably 5 years old, 4 years old. I go with him in hand. Kid you not, the SRO from our school is just hanging out at the police department. And I go in and he goes, well, looky here, Mrs. Mills, what you doing here? Because that's what kind of town it was. And so, of course, by Monday, when I went back to work, everybody in the school building knew that I had my water shut off because I didn't pay my bill. The whole entire town knew. The school knew. It was ridiculously embarrassing.
Well, that's why when I went to NES to pay it because it was going to be late is because a couple of months before when it had gotten shut off, I got an angry phone call in my downtown office from Brittany in a panic because the lights wouldn't come on in the house. We had lost Eliza maybe a month before that. So she was like keyed up and she was like, the lights won't come on. And I was like, okay, run down the street, see if the neighbors have power. And I was like, wait,
No, I know it now.
stay in the house. I didn't pay the bill. And she was like, you what? And so that a few months later, same thing happens. I was like, I am going to the NES building, whatever. If I've got to like,
cut off an arm.
right. If I've got to wear a flak jacket, if I've got to like army crawl into the building, whatever I got to do, it's fine because I can't let this electricity get shut off again because she ate my lunch over that one. I was like,
See, how does that happen? How is it that you're the one that goes to these places and takes care of these things, but the one weekend it's cut off, Ben's out of town? And like the negligent one, when really the whole time I'm trying to like wear a sign that says my husband didn't pay the bill.
Oh, I'm sorry. Our is this house responsibility my responsibility or our responsibility?
Finances are your responsibility.
That's the other thing. That's the other
fact that I'm a hot mess and can't run my own
That's-
financial life.
That's the other thing. So we're talking about that, like having to go in there.
yeah.
But that their water district was worse. They didn't take anything. You couldn't do like payment. So I always had to go actually.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times I missed one, so I had to pay two because I completely forget about it. but water there was like $2.57 or something like that. I mean,
Right.
it was more than that, but you know what I'm saying? Like it was like cheap. So it wasn't like a huge deal. But that one time, yeah, it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough because we're like, why is the water not working?
Small enough town that the one SRO that worked for the whole county
Uh-huh.
that rotated between the 6 schools that were in there just was hanging out with his police officer friend.
Uh-huh.
He wasn't on
His
duty.
other
He didn't
Leos.
need to be there.
Uh-huh.
It was after school. He just wanted to hang out with the police department and just happened to see me there.
With his buddies, yeah.
So all 6 schools knew that we didn't pair water.
Were you a rising star there?
No, she wasn't.
You were a falling star.
There was nowhere to rise.
No, it was pretty
Catch a
small.
falling star
Like,
and
if you
put
were-
it in
It's
your
one of those
pocket.
situations that if you didn't grow up in that town,
You weren't going anywhere.
you weren't
I
going
understand.
you've lived in a couple of those towns, I think.
Well, so have you gotten letters about Murfreesboro Electric Department and MTEMC combining?
Yeah, I have. I don't know much about it, but yeah.
I don't know why it's a big deal, but I had Murfreesboro Electric Department when I lived in Murfreesboro, and I lived downtown in a house or whatever. And this was my first apartment that I had in my name, and I was so proud. So for like the first, I don't know, 6 or 8 months I lived there, I would march myself down to the actual office and pay the bill in person, because I felt like that was way more official than sending in like a check and stuff like that.
It doesn't surprise me because you still think you have to go to the post office to drop off packages, and you're offended by anybody that uses their post.
I can't believe that people would be so
Box.
irresponsible to just put things in their mailbox and expect them to get picked up. But I would walk down to get my groceries. Like I walked everywhere in that little downtown. If you've ever been to Murfreesboro, it's got a really cool downtown area. I would walk down there, pay my little electricity bill. It was always like $27 for a month of electricity in a little apartment or whatever. It's not that anymore.
Yeah, I wish I could get
Yeah,
$27.
exactly. But I was pretty proud until I was like, oh, I just send this check in. And now it's like online. I have an app. I pay my electricity.
Yeah, I do. Everything for me is automatic. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. I mean, I don't know.
Because I like to keep track of these things. I've got things to write down.
Okay, I mean, you can't keep track of it. You have to pay it regardless, right?
Well, if it just comes out automatically, they're just nabbing money from me. And I don't know where it's going and when it's leaving and how much it was.
So you don't know. You don't see the bill come out every month to know when it comes out.
No, that's the reason I go in there and I give them the money that they're owed, and I write down that I gave them this money, and then I know what I have left in the checking account.
This is
they
probably the
just go in
dumbest.
and-
This is probably the
No,
dumbest.
if they just go in and they're taking it, I don't know when it happens. All I do is I look at my bank account one day, and they've come in and cleaned me out for all the money that they need or whatever. I don't know when they're going to do that and how much it's going to be and all that other stuff.
So you don't
I
get a
need
bill.
to give. I need to give permission for people to take my money.
I do give them permission. I give them permission to say that I'm going to owe this amount, and they're gonna pay it. Now, do I give them? Is it a trust issue? Like a trust?
I don't know what it is.
I mean, do you go back and check and see how much electricity you actually use and how much water you actually use,
No.
and write it down and say, well, actually, I didn't use too much water. I don't know who got you, and then try to argue that situation or not.
Well, with water, there's no point. Between a pool and a hot tub now, there's water everywhere. Water
Well,
everywhere.
A leaky pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and trust me, it's $122 what I paid today.
What was my most recent water bill? It was way higher than that.
Yeah, but you were filling up something, right?
Is she mad at you? Well, our pool has a little leak in it too. Not as major as yours, but we can't talk about dogs tonight. I'm mad at my dog.
Yeah,
He's mad at me too. We're mad at each other.
mad at each other. It's mutual madding.
Uh-huh. Until I come home tonight, he's gonna be like, "Hey, were we mad about something?"
You should give him the book.
I'm not joking. You should have seen him when he came flouncing in the house, and then that book was still on the ground, and he immediately turned back around and went
No.
back outside.
His ears go down.
Yes, he tucked his tail, and he was like, "You know what? I'm not ready to be inside."
Too soon. Too soon.
Oh, he remembers.
Is this some kind of cruel joke?
Get you clean this thing up. I don't want to constantly be reminded.
We all make mistakes, okay? I just happen to make 3 of them.
You're always library books.
You're the worst dad ever.
From the poor school is going to think there's something wrong with us. Did you do all your Christmas shopping?
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah.
I haven't done my stocking shopping yet.
We did all that. We just had to go get candies. A little bit of candies for everybody.
Oh, well, I only have to shop for Brittany. You have to shop for everybody? I would die.
I do. Well, all of our Christmas shopping is done Thanksgiving.
Oh, my gosh. No. I can't do that.
Well, I mean, that's the best deal. So we do all of our shopping online. Pay with cash, virtual cash.
Virtual cash.
And it's done, except for usually stocking stuffers.
That's a lot of planning. I still don't know if everybody has everything they need, but I'm not in charge of Christmas shopping.
So this is the second year that I've not been in charge of it.
Christmas shopping is Brittany's territory. I have to make sure that someone shops for her, and that someone is me.
Yeah.
And I'm probably the worst gift giver that I know. And poor Brittany is probably the best gift giver that I know.
Mm-hmm.
And she married someone who is the absolute pits at giving gifts.
That's a similar situation in our household.
Uh-huh.
Except it's opposite.
Are you a good gift giver?
Oh, that's Elizabeth.
She doesn't want to talk to you right now.
Liz, am I a good gift giver?
There's hesitation there. That's...
Well, it's been 20 years. I mean,
I am a terrible gift giver.
well, Liz is not necessarily a bad gift giver. What she does is she thinks it's something that she would like.
Mm-hmm.
She gives it to me. Now, she doesn't give it to me thinking that it's something for her to use or anything like that. So, for example, like she loves like handmade,
Uh-huh.
folky type things. So
Uh-huh.
she'll have something like early on our marriage.
Yes.
No, you do like brands. I'm not saying there's certain things that you like. So on clothes and jewelry, you want the best of the best. But unlike things like you like to give me like homemade things early on. Okay. I don't know how this became an argument. Exactly what I just said is what she's agreeing on. What? I'm sorry. I didn't know I had to clarify to my podcast world here.
Both of our viewers care
Yeah.
very deeply.
You don't even know who you are. But anyway, so she wouldn't give us. She would give me like those kinds of things, and I was like, I mean, it's sweet, but it's not really what I want.
Mm-hmm.
So then, so I kind of learned some things, and so
Mhm.
what I always said is like Elizabeth would ask for something, and I would always remember something she asked for that she couldn't remember, and so I always gave her something. I always had a gift hidden that I would give her that was
Uh-huh.
a surprise gift that
Uh-huh.
she couldn't remember that she asked for or something like that. And it was
Yeah,
always
yeah.
kind of something special, in that way. And so I always way overspent. Always,
Yeah.
Even to this day, I do the same thing. So, and it at some point it became a competition. Like we'll give each other like $200 each or something like that, and I'll spend like $400.
Right.
And then she'd be mad at me because she would only spend $200 for me,
Mm-hmm.
but then I could lord it over her for the year. So
Well, that's
that
nice.
works. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But but that's just kind of how it worked. But then she starts like, so then I started. So she would get upset. She's like, I just want to know what you want. So I would make an Amazon
Gift list.
gift list.
Yeah.
Have I told you this
Wish
before?
list.
Wish list. Have I given
Yeah.
have I
No,
told you
no.
this?
Our family did wish lists this year.
So if I knew that it was going to be $300,
Mm-hmm.
I would add everything up to be $300.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Malachi, what are you dancing in there for?
He's excited. He's ready for his midnight snack.
Hey, can you give me those other trees? Give me those trees that are in there. In the refrigerator.
Hi. Nice hands.
Thank you.
Oh, bad hands. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
I got to one thing off it.
So Elizabeth would get upset with me because I would do that. But then if I didn't do that, then I knew I wasn't gonna. If I gave any room for like anything, I would get nothing on the list, and she would go off.
Mm-hmm.
But if I did exactly, she would just complain about it and do it. Now she's kind of figured it. Yes,
It's apparently the worst gift ever.
it's not the worst. It's not the worst gift ever. It's just you should see it right now. It's very. It's held up to its name. Let's put it that way. It's very
Wooden?
organizing.
Still wooden?
It still wouldn't. The screws are still not inside of it.
Every few months in our house, the trauma of me having to shop for a holiday comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas, anniversary, birthday, they're spread out evenly throughout the year so as to cause the most pain possible to me. And she lives for gift giving holidays. She loves them. Like, she can't wait for them to show up. She loves gifts. That's like her jam. And I get into a state of low-key anxiety that just gets higher and higher the closer we get. And inevitably, it just falls apart when it comes down to it. So what I try to do is in the last few years, my most recent strategy has just been to buy everything that she mentions. And that has backfired a number of times in that she just mentions things offhandedly and then forgets about them. And she's like, what is this? And I'm like, you said this one thing. And
Elizabeth, who's that sound like? Oh my god.
And so it's just this like nightmare of like me justifying these gifts that I've got. And this is me. I guess I have the same number of days that I'm supposed to get gifts, but I don't get gifts on anniversary. I'm not sure when that happened, but that happened at some point.
Oh,
She's the only one who gets gifts on our anniversary.
interesting.
And then I'm supposed to get them on my birthday and Christmas, and I don't want them. I don't want a gift. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know how to feel about it. Like I get nervous. Like I get nervous about am I expressing too much gratitude, not enough? Like how am I overdoing it, underdoing it? So
Just stop you there. This is very confusing for me.
why?
It's just weird. Go ahead.
I would rather just not get a gift. Just leave me out of the equation. We'll shop for everybody else. I'll shop for her because she loves gifts. Whatever I've got to do. But I don't like my gifts. I like the kids will get me gifts, which is like Dawson. And I know what Dawson got me because he wrapped it and put it under the tree and the dog opened it and ate them both. So, so I know like, and that's perfect. Like he made a little card and everything. The card survived. The candy did not. But yeah, like I can respond appropriately to all that stuff. But like, you know, Brittany's a really good gift giver. And so it's just a lot of thought that goes into it. And it's really like intense.
Is it because she's giving gifts and it's intimidating to you?
Right. Because she's so good at that, that I don't.
So it's not necessarily you don't want a gift. It's that kind of energy.
Well, and like I can't like everybody's always like her family or my family would be like, oh, well, so and so drew you, so you got to make up a list of things that you want, and I'm like, I don't know what I want. I don't want anything. And like Brittany did a real good job. One year she got me that trip where we went down to Smithville and we stayed at that place on the river, and that was amazing. And I didn't even know I wanted that, but I did. It was really great. Whatever. So she gives really good gifts. But I don't like, you know, I don't want to open, you know, a PS5 on Christmas. Like, if I want to get a PS5, I want to just like get it and I'll set it up.
So different.
I don't want to open this gift in front of like, especially in front of her family and be like, yay.
Oh, I don't want to do that either.
Or like,
so do you do like? So you don't do like family Christmas?
Yeah, we do. And then typically we draw names, so like one person, and that's the other thing is like.
So when you draw names, you get a PS5 for drawing.
No, I would never get a PS5. Nobody would on either side of the family. But like that's the other thing is like, you know, I always get drawn by the family member that like
doesn't care.
Well, probably doesn't need to be spending money on Christmas gifts.
Oh,
And so
gotcha.
they'll just give me some stuff at the gas station, and I'm always like, oh, cool, thanks, and like it's fine. So like there's no pressure for me. So that family member's always like, "Phew, I got Grant because I can just give him a gas card for $20 and like a cigarette lighter, and it'll be perfect. And because I definitely don't need anything. I don't even know what I want to express it like. But then we have the intimidating, like the only time that comes back to bite me in the butt is this when Brittany and I are giving each other gifts. So much stress because I'm awful at it. And so her birthday was at the beginning of March, or was at the middle of March. And so that got ruined by Corona. So I was like, happy birthday. Hope you can find a cool gift here in the house. I don't know. And then our anniversary came around. I think I squeaked by on that one. But our gift to each other for Christmas was supposed to be this hot tub. And that seems to not be the case because she definitely sent me an Amazon wish list. And I've noticed some stuff coming through that can only be gifts from me, like stuff from my truck and stuff like that. And so I'm like, I guess so I have had to go back and like
rush and
figure things out. Like, and that's the other thing is she doesn't stick to deals like that. So some years she'll stick to my wishes and I'll get like, a stupid keychain for my truck or something funny or a coffee mug that has a funny saying on it or something like that. And like, I just won't get much and it'll be fine because, something will happen. We'll have a baby or, she'll just be stressed or whatever. And she'll say, I didn't do very well. And I'm like,
fine.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
And so anything I get looks good, right, in comparison. And then someday, like our anniversary when she gave me that gift to, we stayed down on the river. I was like, I'm never going to get close to anything like this. But I'm pretty impressed with one of the gifts that I got her this year.
Yeah?
Yeah. Is this going to come out before Christmas?
It came back and believe it out. I can believe it out, though.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
It's a Hamilton inspired sweatsuit. So it's a hoodie. Like
Yeah.
a hoodie. And the hood has like the wig
Yeah.
on it.
Oh my gosh,
And
that's
it has
weird.
the pouch and everything, but like it's looks like buttons and stuff like that. But it's the pants too, and they're the ones that come down just below the knees. But the sweatpants are like full leg,
Yeah.
like it's just a sweatpants suit. But it looks like they come down to just below the knees and like But ordering sizes for her, like I never buy her clothes
Oh,
because
no, I can't see
her and sizes. She's like, I'm like a small medium on the top, but like you really have to go by the fabric about whether it's a small or whether it's a medium and all this stuff.
All day long.
And she's like,
the
I'm like,
jeans
but
on the 30.
like because I'm so tall, you can't buy me mediums because nothing's ever long enough. So I'm always like, I don't. This is just so intimidating. And then like whenever you buy the size that you think it is, she's like, you think I wear this size? I'm like, I actually have no idea what size you wear.
Well, that's better than what Elizabeth does. She goes, thanks. I just don't. I mean, it won't fit. Like, you haven't even tried it on. She's like, I'm just so fat.
But that's my favorite part is she's like, this is the size you think I am? And I'm like, here's truth be told, I have no idea what size you are.
Yeah.
I don't even really know what size I am. I know the numbers. And then when you're supposed to equate those to inches, it's like, that's an intimidating amount of inches.
Yeah.
But women's sizes don't work that way. It's
No.
not even a form of measurement.
They are a bit of random. Like, it's like a small could be a medium could be an extra large. It's just crazy.
Right. They don't correlate to numbers. There's no way to know. It's stupid. But that'll be what she'll ask for. And she's like, she'll ask for one of the things that was on her list was these sweatshirts. So she's really in sweatshirts right now. But the problem is she has this is not an exaggeration. She has about 40 of them.
Yeah.
And I know because I do the laundry in the house. So I'm constantly washing 5 or 6 sweatshirts. And if you have a sweatshirt, how often do you wear it before you wash it?
Are you really asking me?
Yeah.
Probably a full winter.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. Like I get one sweatshirt out at the beginning of winter, and that's the sweatshirt I wear for that winter. And then I wash it and put it away. And then the next winter, I might change it out, get a different one.
I have like 3 that I'd rotate. But
Exactly.
two of them are GP ones, and then usually one that I bought or something like that.
Exactly. But
And it only gets washed if it does get dirty. So like if I'm in the mud or something like that, then it'll get washed. But most of them, jeans and sweatshirts don't get washed in my household.
So frustrating because she's like, oh, I looked at the sweatshirt, so it's definitely dirty. And that's the other thing about sweatshirts with her is like she's really sensitive to temperature. So like 1 degree either way, she'll be either roasting or freezing. And it'll be like 74 degrees or 75 degrees. One is roasting and one's freezing. And so she's never comfortable.
Mhm.
She's either roasting or freezing.
Yeah.
Never perfect. So she's always flipping the sweatshirt on and off and on and off and on and off. But if she leaves it like up in our bedroom, she's like, well, I'll just get another one.
Yeah.
And so there might be 5 or 6 sweatshirts in a day that all go into the dirty clothes because they got worn that day. And so we have at least 5 or 6 in the laundry, 5 or 6 probably hanging up from the laundry the previous week that she hasn't taken upstairs yet. And then at least another 20 hanging in
Just
the
in there.
closet.
No.
And she'll be like,
that's
I
all
want a sweatshirt. I'm like, so I'm going to get you a sweatshirt that's just going to go into this sea of sweatshirts that I'm never going to see. You're never going to see. You're only going to have time to wear it once, one day for about an hour until you're sweltering again. And then it's just never going to get seen again. I'm not participating in that. I'm not contributing.
But you did because you bought a.
Well, this one's going to stand out, though. It's not going to be the rest of these sweatshirts that have one. Okay, this is Liz. Listen to this. This is my one of my pet peeves about the sweatshirt season that she's going through right now. These sweatshirts have slits up to here.
Yeah, I don't get that.
What is the deal?
No.
That's not a
And-
sweatshirt. That's not keeping anybody warm.
On a,
First of all, it's as thin as a piece of paper. Exactly. It's as thin as a piece of paper. The slits are up to here.
you've
that
got
ain't-
2 of those.
That ain't keeping nobody warm.
Yeah, it's the ones that like I have a camo one,
So does she.
and I have like it's kind of like a pink and
Yep.
cream stripy one.
Yep. I bet Brittany has those same sweatshirts.
So
So it's
when do you buy this stuff?
the appeal grant to the split swing at the side is that no matter how bloated you feel that day, slits are
I'm
never
done.
gonna
I'm so done with this. I've been hearing this whole narrative for 2 months.
bloated.
Yes.
Well, before I was pregnant,
I think. Well,
and
okay.
postpartum, so I
Don't say pregnant like we don't know there's a difference between pregnant and not pregnant. Okay, there's a few kids around here that can speak to the fact that everybody here knows the difference between pregnant and not pregnant. My wife says the word bloated to me as if there's some gigantic, literally gigantic difference between a bloated day and a not bloated day.
Yeah.
I know what the word bloated means, and I know what she looks like. And the difference is how you feel. It is not how you look.
Exactly. Thank
So
you.
this sweatshirt is yeah, so this is my favorite part of that. So Brittany will come stomping out of the closet with these pants, and she's obviously like standing in this posture that she would absolutely never stand in real life. And she's like, "Can you believe these pants don't fit right now?" And I'm like, "Yes, I can, because you're stuffing, as much of your body down into the pants as possible to show me that they're super tight and you hate them and you're so bloated and everything else." She's like slumped over and like obviously pushing on them, and she's like, "These pants, they fit yesterday." And I'm like, "I bet if you just stood like a human being, I bet they would fit right now." But instead,
It's so true.
you're like in this gorilla posture out here, like somehow that's how you would stand walking around. And she's like, "You're so stupid." And so she'll march back in there and come back out in leggings. And she's like, "These leggings are all that fits me right now." It's
Yeah.
like, no.
It's the same thing as that Elizabeth doesn't do that. Elizabeth's like her stomach has gotten 6 times wider because she's pushing it out. I can't. Nothing fits anymore. I need to buy 600 more pairs of pants.
Mhm.
That's
true. When he's doing his voice. Yeah, that's my complaint. Is like I'm supposed to notice a difference, and there is no difference, but also the only difference is how you feel, which that's a real difference.
Yeah.
But don't try to tell me that things are visibly different, because I know that they're not.
And here's the thing: I wish I could have the ability to have I feel like a good day and I feel like a bloated day. I feel like a crap day every day. So. You see?
No. The difference between a 6 and an 8, and I know this now, having worked in women's fashion for 7 years, The difference between a 6 and an 8 is the seamstress that day on the jeans machine, because I'm not joking. I've pulled 6s and 8s out and put them next to each other, and there's maybe this much difference, but then I can pull 2 pairs of 6s and there'll be this much difference between the two of them. So I know for a fact, because I've seen them down there, they're just yapping it up, just running that thing. It looks like it looks like a saw,
Yeah.
like a jigsaw is what it looks like. But they're just
It's like-
sewing and talking, and they're not looking at anything. Nobody's paying attention. And then, you hold a 6 and an 8 up. And in different brands, this could be a 6, and, this could be an 8. And I'm like, guys, what are we doing here? But these are the numbers that we're swearing by. And these are the numbers I'm supposed to know when I go shopping for her. She's like, I just want, a pair of jeans that's not too light, not too dark, not too long, not too short, not too brown and not too blue. And, I don't know any of this. What am I doing?
I totally get it. I can't stand. I told Elizabeth a long time ago. I said I can't stand buying jewelry, especially jewelry that you expect me to try to pick out for you. That's the latest thing for Elizabeth. She's like, I don't want to spend any money. I don't want us to do anything. And then she'll send me something, a $5,000 ring, and then she'll come in to me and goes, I don't want you to get that ring. I want you to pick out a ring that you think that I would like. I want it to be all you. But here's 17 different things to think about. Right. And if I were to do that to its true form, go to the store and buy a ring that I thought was, pretty, that I thought would fit her or whatever, there'd be divorce papers the next day because it would be over. I mean, because she'd be like, that's not what I sent you, and that's what happens. So she'll say, this is what this is kind of what I want, but what she's trying to say is, this is what I want.
Yeah, this is exactly what I want.
Yeah.
Is what she means. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get that. I had to pick out all the diamond jewelry that she has, like push presents, engagement rings, wedding bands, all of this stuff, and it's very intimidating. But then I guess, like, when a woman in the South goes to give birth, she has to wear birthing jewelry.
I've never heard this before.
That's because Brittany made it up. So she convinced me I had to go with her I had to buy a pair of earrings that she could wear for the birth of all of our children.
Oh, wow.
And so I did that, and I picked out this pair of earrings, and she wore them for the birth of all 3 of the boys. And I have been informed that they are the most hideous earrings she's ever seen in her life. And I was like, what did you expect? I mean, how much do I know about earrings?
Yeah.
Like,
how much do I know about fashion?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, what did you think? Who did you think you were sending in, to pick this out for you? Like, you got to be realistic here. But anyway, she wore them all the time. And the diamond jewelry, apparently I've done a good job on. But this jewelry, not a good job.
I've not bought anything for Elizabeth, jewelry-wise or clothes-wise, that she's liked. Unless it's something that she has
Like,
specifically
explicitly said, just buy
basically,
this.
we went to the store together, and she goes,
Yeah.
I want this.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, okay, just close your eyes for a second.
Ooh. It's hard to mess those up. She told me to.
But you told me to. Yes. No, that was a fabrication that you made into your mind. That's what happened. But
We
I am definitely a gift giver.
are using the word fabrication a lot.
I think I am a good gift giver.
Uh-huh.
There's certain things I don't want to touch jewelry and I don't want to touch clothing because those are two areas
Preach.
that can get you in trouble.
Preach.
So yes, I might have bought those earrings for her. I think they were princess cut diamond
Hey.
earrings,
Hard to mess up solitaires.
but they're just
You can do it.
yeah. But it was out of her suggestion of something that she wanted. She doesn't
Uh-huh.
remember this,
Mm-hmm.
and she recently decided that she doesn't like those anymore. She wants to upgrade them to like another size. She wears them like once a year.
all the time.
And you know how many times I've heard this? This is a classic line.
Mm-hmm.
You're hearing it. You're hearing it. This is a classic line that I hear all the time about all the
Jewelry.
time. About anything that she
Oh.
wants to buy. I'll use this all the time.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Uh-huh.
She uses most of that stuff as much as I use that coffee maker. That I bought.
Yeah, the coffee maker. I forgot about the growler.
Growler. And so anyway,
How is the coffee maker treating you?
I told you this, right? It's diluted. I can't figure it out. So it's in retirement right now. I'm hoping to bring it out at some point when I can figure out the coffee portion out. But anyway, gifts are something that I enjoy doing. I like to get them. I like to do it. I love shopping for the kids,
Uh-huh.
all that stuff. No, I'm not complaining about the gifts. I'm just saying like it's a hard thing. Like you have this expectation of me that I can't meet. And so what happened the last couple of years? I guess we're not done. What happened the last couple of years is, so she makes a Amazon list, and I've
Uh-huh.
gotten to the point now. It's you probably understand this, and I think part of what you're saying is this too. I mean, we're at the point in our lives, for the most part, that if you want something, we just kind of buy it,
Uh-huh.
right? So we have a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
I have a growler, right? We have things that we like,
Uh-huh.
and that we buy, and that's the same with Elizabeth as with me. So we like it as long as it's not too expensive. We'll buy it. So that makes our gift giving. So when we were first married, there's a variety of places to give gifts,
Mhm.
right? Because we had no money, so we splurged Christmas, which meant we went into the red and maxed out our credit card, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't buy things throughout the year, so we bought those as gifts. They were actual gifts.
Uh-huh.
Now we have to look beyond what we need.
Uh-huh.
So what I asked for was podcasting equipment to kind of help advance this,
Uh-huh.
but that stuff's not cheap.
Right. That's
So
true.
then I had to come up with a bunch of little gifts to kind of do this. Well, the same with Elizabeth. She's got all these little gifts. So then she gets upset. She gets upset with me in the last couple of years because she's not really upset with me, like hypothetically upset.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because I'll just buy off the Amazon list. Right? These are things that you want or need. We'll just buy those things off, and hopefully you enjoy them. So I always kind of give her a heads up because she has become accustomed to an extra gift
Uh-huh.
that is either unexpected or is actually unexpected.
Uh-huh.
Something that she's mentioned that she loves. So last year's a good example. So I had bought everything, and I told her, listen, it's just going to be Amazon stuff. And which is no joke. We've spent a lot of money last year.
Mm-hmm.
And she was expecting Hamilton tickets,
Mm.
right? So you know how much it costs to go to Hamilton?
I do. Yeah.
It's unreal.
Uh-huh.
I mean, basically you have to give your firstborn
Yeah.
child all that stuff. So I obviously could not afford those, especially at late notice.
Uh-huh.
They're super expensive. So I did My Fair Lady, which is when we did go, and she liked it. But I mean, obviously it wasn't Hamilton, so it wasn't the best of the best. But she did like going to My Fair Lady. So
Mm-hmm.
I did too. I fell asleep like 17 times. It wasn't because of that. It was because it was a super late movie on a Thursday night. I was just exhausted. This lady pooped her pants. It was a whole deal.
She really did?
Oh yeah. It smelled like crap. It smelled like literal crap.
Somebody pooped their pants?
Yeah, and we couldn't figure out what it was. Like, it was baby. We thought someone changed it. So this year, this is kind of funny too. This year, we talked about it. We're like, well, we've got the pool to fix. We've got this house we have to put some money into. So we probably shouldn't get anything to anybody. So we bought all the kids' stuff. And as we're kind of finishing things up, I don't want, like, I'm different. Like, I like that part of my childhood that I love was getting something underneath the tree. That's always kind of been a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to give a gift to my wife, and I like to actually receive a gift. That's something. Is that selfish? Maybe, but it's just something that I remember that one.
I don't think
So we kind of got to the point where, as we started talking about it, I was like, I finally told her, I said, I'm not going to not buy you a gift, so we might as well just make a decision on what to do.
Uh-huh.
So the same thing. I told her, I said, listen, I'm just going to buy off your Amazon list. So I told her, I warned her, and she goes, what? I always expect something. But she used to do that. She used to buy, that's what I was trying to get to before we got to this whole thing.
Uh-huh.
We used to buy everything. she used to buy everything off. Like if I gave her something, but she got mad at me because it's like, you always just add it up to whatever it is. I'm like, I felt like that was the easiest thing for you. That's what you liked in the beginning. So now she's gone off,
Going off the grid.
which is fine,
Uh-huh.
except for the
She's
fact
going
that
rogue.
usually I ask for things that I particularly want because I want them for something. And so then I have to go back and buy them anyway because I need them for something. and so she told me the other day, she's like, I bought you 2 gifts that you want, and I bought you 37 that you didn't need. And so I don't know. I literally don't know, and I've made it my duty to kind of keep. I have to look at the finances to know where we're going, but to try not to explore it and some of that, because that's how I used to ruin my gifts sometimes by accident, is by seeing them. But so anyway. Speaking of which, I did get you a gift.
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, there's no way.